inside my head. I ain't never felt more alive. Niggas really never touch and break. Get that pain heavy out your eyes. Hitting different when you...
ATK in this thing. TKG, what is good with y'all? Man, listen. 2020, entering and exiting, we have seen a lot of new and recurring underrated talents not have their name, be publicized or, being talked about amongst the superstars of the game. Now, of course, my job today is to tell you 20 of my most notable, most underrated rappers of 2020. And of course, before we even get into the video, man, I'm going to tell y'all what I mean by underrated, because some of y'all be thinking, they get talked about, so how are they still underrated? Well, this is different. My definition may be a little different than yours. So if you want to make a most underrated list of your own, you know what I'm saying? You can tell me. I'll be more than, welcome to check it out. But over here on this channel, I have a different meaning. So without further ado, let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is what it means to be underrated over here. More talent than success, which, is self-explanatory, I hope. Overshadowed, which is another something else pretty self-explanatory. Still has undervalued, which I'm so sorry, I typo machine. Still is undervalued even while at peak, which I'm gonna explain. And undervalued or underhyped, shall I say, compared to less talented peer and or competition. Now, if you're still undervalued, even when you're giving us what is clearly your best work, and we can't really tell what someone's best work is, someone's still alive and well and rapping, then of course, we can't just, it's subjective to tell us, tell what their best is. But at the moment, at the time, if you're giving us your best work and say Denzel Curry, for instance, gives us Unlocked, and some people would say that's his best album. If he gives us Unlocked and the shit doesn't even get like 20, yet this is the best he's going to get, then clear cut, I got to call him underrated. And of course, being underhyped compared to your less talented peers. Again, Denzel Curry is a much better rapper than Young Thug, and Young Thug will get tons more respect and tons more recognition than Denzel Curry. So of course, that would make Denzel Curry underrated, undervalued, underhyped, overlooked, overshadowed in a sense. So with all these definitions out there, with you knowing what my criteria is, let's get right on into the first guy at number 20 and 19, respectively. So at number 20, we have Aminé, and at number 19, we have Zodiac. Now, there's got to be a lot of people on this list that you don't know about that are really good, hence, again, why they're underrated. Now, Aminé, you do know. If you don't know, then you've definitely been under a rock, because this guy has been pretty big. Or, that's what they like you to think. Aminé is a guy who always drops one of the best albums or one of the best projects of the year, and yet, like, after he drops that project, the guy disappears, or that's what they would like you to think, that he disappears. Aminé is always pretty vocal and still out there in the game. It's just he really drops one project a year, or he tries to at least, and drops like one single, a couple singles surrounding a project or an album. And then, he's a little quiet because, again, that's what they want you to think. They just don't put Aminé on those media outlets, those media articles that are pushing guys like Future and talking about what Lori Harvey's doing this week, or talking about what 6ix9ine's up to, for the 19th time in the past hour. But Aminé's always a guy who will give you great content and then just disappear. No one hypes this guy up. No one's giving him this shine that he clearly deserves, because he is one of the best rappers in the game. He always has been, since he's been, big. Some will say he's overrated just due to the fact that he's, up and gone. And then guys like me will say he's underrated because he just does not get talked about enough. Now, Zodiac, a guy that you probably don't know. Zodiac 100% is a guy who I would say a bulk of my audience have not heard of. But oddly enough, a subscriber that probably does know a bunch about him, and I say subscriber was subjectively, is Intensified Charts. The Intensified Charts has been pushing Zodiac really hard on his channel. And by the way, go check out his past couple videos. He definitely has Zodiac in there in a bunch of those videos. But Zodiac is a guy who's like a hardcore, kind of dark type of rapper, and he's extremely good. And by the way, by the end of this video, I will be reminding you guys that I will be dropping a list of songs that you guys can check out from all these artists if you're a first-time listener. So if you're a first-time listener of Zodiac, for sure, go to my Twitter. And after this video is uploaded, I will be sharing, those lists of songs. So, of course, when listening to Zodiac, of course, the lyricism is there. The even if you want to get lit, the litness is there. The hypeness is there. Everything you need from this guy is there. I mean, he's kind of a repetitive subject matter type of guy, but hell, I'm going to admit, sometimes you can ignore that shit when the music's just so hype, when the music is just so good. Hence why guys like Lil Uzi Vert and Future is still relevant, because the music's always hype. And Zodiac's another guy like that. Definitely give him a listen, man. He's just, he's a very good listen. Trust me, I'm always listening to Zodiac year in and year out. Number 18, we've got Wi-Fi's Funeral, and at number 17, we've got Joey Badass. Now, people seem to have forgotten the big, craze on Wi-Fi's Funeral. Like, everyone was just on this guy like 3 years ago. People were in love with Wi-Fi's Funeral. So much, in fact, that he actually got on the XXL list. And I mean, I guess you could say he's kind of like, I don't know if you would say he's wasting his potential, or, he's just not there anymore. No one cares about him. But there have been a few media outlets that have, cared to talk about his music, or cared to, put him in the media at all. So he's not absolutely just overshadowed, but there is a big difference between his popularity now and his popularity then. Like, he's clearly not the same guy. So, of course, I mean, he's actually just improved since his heyday 3 years ago. And I'd say, he's still worth the listen. He's still, relatively the same style, but he's definitely different. He's definitely learned, a few more things since everyone kind of just forgot about him. So I definitely recommend you guys go listen to him. If you've forgotten about Wi-Fi's Funeral, man, you definitely are regretting it. You're definitely missing out on some of his better music, some of his best music. So, go and check homie out, man. And then Joey Badass. I mean, what is there left to say about Joey Badass? Joey Badass is always a guy who YouTubers will say has dropped one of the best projects of said year. And then starting the next year, Joey Badass has to go through another round of having to prove himself as to why he's one of the best out. And honestly, I'm ashamed to say I'm one of those guys that will listen to Joey Badass, forget to listen to him, and then be like, damn, like, what happened to Joey Badass? Like, I'm that reason. We're that reason. You can listen to Joey Badass in and out, in and out, in and out all day, every day. And yet, for all these people that say he's underrated, it's just so weird. Like, the whole world says he's underrated. So if the whole world can acknowledge he's underrated, why the hell isn't he, rated correctly? It's just always so weird to me. I don't know. But Joey Badass, I mean, what can I say about him that people haven't already been saying about him? The guy is just one of the best rappers, best lyricists, best conscious rappers out. And yet he just still does not get the love he deserves. He still doesn't get the respect he deserves. He'll always chart high, but then it's like the Aminé story. Like, the guy just disappears. And it's not, it's not because he wants to be. It's because, the media just stops caring about conscious guys. They start talking about what Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion are up to. So it's not his fault, to be clear, but he's still very, very underrated. At number 16, we have Cybeer. And at number 15, we have Denzel Curry. Now, before you guys audibly gasp together and be like, oh, why is Denzel Curry so low? Why isn't he in the top 10? Why he's a top 10? Why isn't he, top 5 most underrated? He's the most underrated to me. Yeah, I would have agreed with you, but I'm going to get into that later. Let's talk about Cybeer first. Now, Cybeer is a guy that you most likely haven't heard of, and the people that have heard of him could very much tell you the same things that I could tell you right now. That Cybeer is just one of the most fun listens that you can, that you would have. Cybeer is a guy who, he's a guy that does not really take the game super, super serious. Like, he takes it serious enough to care about his craft, but he doesn't take it serious enough to where it's like, oh, like every track has to be a hit. He clearly is not making music to make hits. The guy has like 12 fucking albums in 2020 alone. So, you're definitely not left with, just a little bit of content to listen to. He's got a lot of albums that have a ton of tracks on them. So, if you want to go listen to him, you definitely have a ton to catch up on. Because, again, he has a bunch in 2020. So imagine the other years that he's been rapping. But other than that, this is the first year I really listened to Sidebeer. And I got to say, not enough people are talking about this kid. Like, seriously, not enough people know about him. I know that there's going to be there's too many cooks in the kitchen if you know every single fucking rapper. But at least acknowledge the kid. I've seen so many social medias. Like articles and stuff like that. And I say social medias because it's literally everywhere. They have these shade rooms and they have these no jumpers and stuff like that. You'll see so many pages drop a most underrated list year in and year out. And yet, I've never seen Sidebeer be talked about, not once. And I'm sure some people just will never be in that light. But I've never really seen people online talking about Sidebeer. If you haven't been told about Sidebeer, if you haven't ran into him on the internet, you more than likely will never hear about this kid. So let's get into the elephant in the room, right? Denzel Curry is number 15 on this list. Why? Because the more Denzel Curry drops content, the less he is becoming underrated. People are starting to notice and people starting to realize, yet he still is underrated. He still is one of the most underrated sounds in the game. I don't even have to talk too much about Denzel Curry. Y'all already know. He's the main reason why one of the criteria on this list was more talent than success. Because he has more talent than he does success. Denzel Curry's always going to be one of those guys that is one of the most talented rappers in the game, who I said was the best pure rapper in the game. He's always going to be one of those guys. That won't change up until we start giving the man his flowers. So, of course, you want to talk more about this, hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, or even go in the comment section to talk about it, because I'm more than willing to, explain my action here. But if you agree with me, of course, you probably won't say anything. So, of course, we'll let it be what it is. It is what it is, right? At number 14, we have Josiah. And at number 13, we have Baby Keem. Now, Josiah, I'll make this one short because y'all probably don't know too much about him either, much like a lot of other people on this list. But Josiah is known as an X copycat. If you listen to him, he sounds just like X, really. And ever since 2019, the guy's really picked up his game. He's not one of those spiritual lyrical miracles. He's not one of those guys that's going to be one of the top lyricists and top, storytellers in the game. That's never going to be the case. But he's definitely one of the funnest listens that you're going to have. Listen to Josiah and tell me if you can't get lit not once. You will get hype at least one time. It's going to happen. And then we get Baby Keem. Baby Keem's someone who really should be a little higher on this list, for real. Because, the only reason why he isn't is because, given every time he drops a track from here on, it really is starting to pick up with popularity. People are starting to realize who this kid is. Mind you, there are some people that would say he's overrated because he's Kendrick Lamar's cousin, and that's why he gets all this respect and admiration and, attention. And I couldn't say that's more further from the truth. Yes, he's Kendrick Lamar's cousin, but all that means is when you pay attention to him, can he, match Kendrick Lamar in any sense of the word? Now, no, hell no, he can't. But Baby Keem's his own type of rapper. He's his own style. Baby Keem's a guy who really has no gimmick. He's just fucking weird. And I say that, and I say that in the most respectful way, because if even I said that to Baby Keem, he'd probably take that as a compliment. He has no identity. He went on Double XL and seemed so depressed. Yet when you listen to his music, it's so hype and so lit. So it's like you don't know what to expect from this kid. So, of course, you already know what time it is, man. When I drop my songs, man, go check out Baby Keem if you haven't already. Because, again, if you can listen to a damn Travis Scott, a Lil Thug, a Lil Uzi Vert, you will have no problem. Oh, especially a Playboy Cardi. You have no problem listening to a Baby Keem, 100%. Hence why he made the Double XL list this year. He definitely deserved a spot because he is one of the best new rappers in the game. I gotta say that with 100% certainty. At number 12, we have Saman Savage. And at number 11, we have Lil Loaded. Now, Saman Savage is a new listen for me. Definitely someone that has well, I'm going to be real honest with you, someone that is going to be slept on for so long. The more, storytelling and lyrical these rappers get, the more they get, the bigger chance they get left behind. And I got to tell you, with 100% certainty, Samad Savage is going to start to remind motherfuckers of Denzel Curry. He's just a guy who clearly knows his shit, clearly studies the game, clearly can go, clearly has what it takes to be somebody who, I guess, if he wanted to be in the mainstream, he's a guy who has all the tools to do such. Yet, the only time I hear about Samad Savage is really from my peers, is really from Amir, is really from Intensify Charts when I see him hyping him up and stuff like that. It's you're only going to hear about him from people, but media outlets are not going to talk about Samad Savage. And I mean, for really, the same reason they don't want to talk about Denzel Curry and stuff. Oh, another guy who thinks he can, spit, and he's going to take the spots of the people who create drama and buzz and give our channel purposes. Samad Savage is not that type of guy who creates drama. So, of course, they don't want to put him anywhere because he's not, shooting up guns, shooting up liquor stores and, talking about how many bitches he has. This is the main reason. And then Lil Loaded. Lil Loaded's a guy, and I don't really listen to his style of rap too much, but when I finally listened to his rap, when I finally listened to Lil Loaded, thanks to Tommy Craze, by the way, I never would have knew about him had he not, dropped that video talking about, it was Glock Baby, if I'm not mistaken. Now, Glock Baby, that song is it was so annoying to me at first, and then the longer it went on, the better it got. And that's so weird, and I still listen to that shit to this day. Glock Baby, Glock Baby. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it probably annoyed the shit out of me doing it just now, but trust me, Lil Loaded is worth the listen. I mean, again, what have I been saying about so many of these young rappers? They're starting, like, some of them are starting to come up so humble, and they're starting to come up so, ready to take over the game and stuff like that. Lil Loaded was a guy who had the most liked XXL pitch last year. And I mean, mind you, he didn't get on, but with all the buzz, with all the drama he's been circulating his name, all the wrong drama, and sadly we hear about him, putting himself in prison or in jail, turning himself. My mic cut out, guys. Sorry about that. I need to get better equipment. Hard out here for a pimp who isn't really a pimp, but Lil Loaded gets talked about in the media the wrong way. He gets talked about in the negative pretense. And he's really a good rapper. And to only hear about him because of the bad stuff he does, that's screwed up. That's messed up, So, I mean, listen to him. You're probably going to enjoy the listen. He's a fun listen. You know what I'm saying? He can spit. Like, he is a guy who's pretty lyrical. He's a guy who talks about his he's a storyteller too. Talks about his come up and everything. He's humble. That's all I can really say about the kid. He's humble. Check him out. Introducing us to the top 10 is Rico Nasty. And at number 9, we have IDK. Now, I'm going to talk about both of them at once. Rico Nasty is anti-mainstream. IDK is anti-mainstream. What I mean by that is they don't fit the description of what you would put on the radio. They don't fit the description of what you would put on the Shade Room or on TMZ or something like that, talking about music. I gotta say, I don't understand why these two why there has to be a description, why there has to be a bill, why there has to be, I just don't understand. Because Rico Nasty doesn't have this big, oily ass and these big fake titties and this super plastic face, means that she can't be put anywhere unless other artists are pushing her out of the niceness of their hearts. And IDK will share a track with one of your favorite artists and people will acknowledge, oh yeah, he killed that shit. And niggas will still say shit like, oh, but I think A, B, and C are better still. And the niggas they'll list that are better are guys like fucking, I don't know, Uzi and Cardi and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Shit niggas like that, Young Thug and Lil Keed and shit like that. Like, bruh, the more shit stays the same, whatever, however that statement goes, the more shit changes, the more shit stays the same. It's just, you'll see these two next year. You'll probably even see them a little higher, because nothing fucking changes in the rap game. It just doesn't. These two are living proof of that. At number 8, we have Lil Darky. And at number 7, we have Little Simz. We got Little and Lil. That's hilarious. But Lil Darky, right? I'm going to say this and only this and let y'all explore, and then you'll know why he's on this list. Lil Darky is the funnest rapper on this list, period. The song I recommend on Twitter, you listen to that, you have your fun, and then if you listen for the purpose of just having fun, oh my God. The motherfucker, like, literally laughs. I'm laughing while I listen to his music. And if I'm not laughing, I'm enjoying the song. I'm enjoying the beat. I'm enjoying his voice, everything. It's just, the guy just has it all together. He knows his purpose in the rap game. He ain't trying to be the Drake of the, you know what I'm saying? He's not trying to be. With lyrics like how he spits, you know what I'm saying? He's not trying to be the next Drake, the next Tupac, the next Eminem. He just wants to be the first Lil Darky. And I can respect that. Lil Simz. I'm going to say this one with some more certainty. Lil Simz is most likely one of the hardest fucking female rappers to ever rap. And I'm going to say that with my head held high and me feeling like I'm going to get trash thrown at me out in the streets, most likely by Barbs. But look, Lil Simz 100% has been overlooked. There's always been people talking about, other rappers talking about, oh, she can rap, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, well, where's her flowers? Where are her flowers? You know what I'm saying? I said that's so serious. Like, I have no, like, I'm literally sitting here, like, pissed off at that one. Where are her flowers? Why must the female agenda be pushed to, oh, I'm about women empowerment yet? When you go to their Instagram accounts, you know what I'm saying, they're twerking and they're acting a fucking fool and shit like that. And that's not women empowerment. I want to listen to Lil Simz and feel that women empowerment, because she's not out here, you know what I'm saying, painting the wrong picture. Yes, you can shake your ass and still push for women empowerment, but I take you less serious than I would someone like Lil Simz or someone like, we'll talk about her in a second. And number 6, we have oh my God. God damn. Y'all looking what I'm looking at, man. Look at that fucking pose. Look at it. This nigga snot is dripped the fuck up, guys. But at number 6 we have Armani Caesar and just look at him. Look at Snot, man. Snot at number 5. Look at him. But let's talk about Armani Caesar, I guess. Armani Caesar is, if you've listened to The Liz, her new album, you know exactly what I'm about to say. We got another, you take one look at her and you would have probably guessed that she's talking about, ass and titties and, other stuff. But that's not the case. She's not that type. She's a kind of a don't fuck with me. Oh, let's talk about, the haters in the game. Let's talk, she's different. And I'm sure down the line, yeah, she probably has talked about the ass and her titties. But yeah, no. When you listen to The Liz, you get none of that. So with all that being said, I don't want to have to rinse and repeat what I said about Lil Simz and what I said about Rico Nasty, because again, there's a theme here. All of them aren't the stereotype. Well, 2 out of the 3 of them aren't, what you would put on, a billboard, or what you wouldn't, share on a media outlet or something like that. But Snot, look at Snot, man. It's just so inspirational. Look at him. Snot is a guy who, when I first found out about him, he was so shy sounding and so offbeat and just sounded like somebody who probably more than likely was not going to have fans or not be listened to or anything like that. Snot really has been getting pushed like this year, like really big this year. And I got to say, I'm so happy that they actually started pushing him. He got an album on the Billboard 200 finally. I forget where his spot was or he peaked at, but I mean, I'm glad that he actually got some attention. So now people know who Snot is. Snot has continued to improve his style and adapt. Now he's starting to become more of a singer. Now he's starting to become more of a, you know what I'm saying, a lyrical guy. Now he's starting to sound more on beat with his, you know what I'm saying, like everything sounds put together. Listen to his new album, Havoc. And I mean, it's just, it's wonderful. Like, Snot has impressed me. Snot has become one of the most must-see new talents in the game. And speaking of must-see, I mean, just look at him, man. Look at those fingers. You know what I'm saying? Look at that pose, man. Just, man. Look, God damn it. Just look. At number 4, we have Rhapsody. And at number 3, we have Freddie Gibbs. I'm going to say this about Rhapsody and move right on to Freddie Gibbs. Rhapsody is one of the most underrated rappers of all time. One of. And I'm going to make this one statement and just go right on to number 3. Right on to Freddie. Rhapsody out-rapped Kendrick and J. Cole on their tracks. And if you don't believe me, go listen. And when you listen, come back and give me a little nod of approval. Now, Freddie Gibbs is a guy who really gets his name out there more and more and more as time goes on. Now, he's really been pushed by the media. He's even running for a whole fucking Grammy this year. So, I mean, you ask the question, how the fuck is he underrated still? How the fuck is, how does Freddie Gibbs still underrated if he's getting nominated for Grammys? Well, I'll put it like this. It has taken Freddie Gibbs about 10 years to get this recognition. It's taken Freddie Gibbs about 10 years. He's been underrated for 10 years. He's been just about this good for 10 years. Most would say that Alfredo's his best piece of work. Most would have said Bandana was his best piece of work. And yet, he's still got so much more in the tank. And I know that he can top Alfredo. That's the crazy part. People think that this is Freddie's ceiling. And I, as a Freddie fan, am telling you with 199% certainty, fuck it, 200% certainty, Freddie Gibbs is far from his ceiling. He's far from the best that he can do. This may be the only time he gets this love and respect and attention, but it is not the last time he can drop a hit, that he can drop an absolute banger, that he can, you know what I'm saying? It's not the last time. I've said that, Alfredo was one of the best albums of 2020. If we're talking about any genre, it's one of the best albums. But Freddie Gibbs has always been one of the best rappers, period, in the game. So he deserves his respect. He needs his flowers. He needs to be talked about with the Big Seans and the Wiz, the Drakes and the damn Meek Mills and, all the superstars, because he definitely, at this point, is one of them. It's just a shame that he doesn't get that same, recognition and admiration that the others do. He deserves it. And lastly, we have Don Toliver at 2 and Red Veil at 1. I have really talked about both of these guys a ton this year. Really, Red Veil more so than everyone else, but, Don Toliver as well. Now, Don Toliver is a guy who I predict to be on the radio all throughout 2021. He's going to be a mainstay in the mainstream. And I can't wait because he has so much talent. When you listen to his music, it definitely sounds like he's putting his heart into it. And it's not just some man-made bullshit. Like, it's some manufactured. When I say man-made, I mean like, the man is, putting a stamp of approval on all the songs that he's putting out. Everything is just him and his soul and stuff. So I gotta say, I'm ready. And then Red Veil. Oh man, Red Veil. 16, tons of potential. Niagara was my favorite listen of the year. This is not just, some new artist bias that I have. This is just some clear cut. I'm appreciating this sheer talent that he has. And coming into 2021, I fully expect Red Veil to start to become more recognized and more, he's probably still going to be underrated come, 2022, but is the fact that people now know of him and now his name is being shared out there. So, of course, we have to be patient with artists like Red Veil, and we have to be patient with artists like Don Toliver, because with Don Toliver, it's just a matter of time before you start hearing him on the radio all the time, and then people will start saying, oh, he has this song that won't stop getting on the radio, like I forget that one song, Lemonade with Internet Money. I think he's in Internet Money. Maybe I'm tripping here, but yeah, no, for sure. Y'all are going to start saying that he's overrated with all the radio hits he's going to have. And then with Red Veil, you're probably going to say he's overrated because of all the people saying he's underrated. Some people can be so underrated they're actually overrated, which, it doesn't make any sense, but trust me, people say it about JID and Denzel Curry all the time. So, look out for these two guys, because they're going to take over 2021 in some regard. Mark my words. And there you go, TKG. 20 of my most underhyped, undervalued, overlooked, or underbooked, appreciated, underrated rappers of 2020. And of course, I'm gonna be cooking up in the kitchen now and making the 2020s overrated rappers this time. We're gonna end the year with a little bit of pessimism, so I'm sorry about that. But 2021 is gonna be very positive. Don't worry about that. That is a fact. Of course, to keep up with all the positivity in 2021, you already know what to do, man. Go in the description box. Go ahead and hit up all the social medias, the Instagram, Twitter, and go ahead and follow the Twitch if y'all want to follow all the albums we're going to be listening to. Of course, go ahead and go to that red box you see. It's got a couple of letters in there. I think it says subscribe, something like that. Go ahead and press that. Go ahead and press the bell if y'all want to keep up with me, TKG, and the rest of the league. And go ahead and, see what we're up to. If you like this content, go ahead and share it to everyone that you deem worthy of such pleasure. And you already know what time it is, guys. Bob, have a good time. And I'm all the culture, man. I will see y'all later. Peace out.
Coming in, yeah, flex. I just wanna win, yeah.